Checking everything. Darryl, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. How are you doing, bro?
Oh, okay, man. So,
How's things? How's everything on your side? Um,
yeah, it's good.
it's good to see you. Good to see you. I just want to make sure um, everything is all good in terms of streaming. You can see me. You can hear me. There we go. One
Yeah,
second.
I can't see what I can hear.
Okay. Just need to sort out my camera quickly. There we go. What about now?
Yeah, it's good. I can see.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so welcome to Tele Sports, another rugby chat with myself, Ryan, and my brother Darryl, and also special guest for today, Thomasau Forbes. Um, for hopefully for everyone that's going to be coming across this video at some point, uh, hopefully you'll be inspired and just get a little bit to know, obviously, um, Tommaso. Um, just want to also touch on, um, just want to sort this out. Just want to touch on the topics we're going to be discussing today. Is we just want to know about Tommaso Forbes, about his career, his upbringing, um, questions that's relatable. Um, but it's exciting, absolutely exciting. We've been looking forward to do this, and hopefully there'll be a lot more in the future. It just depends, obviously, on on the process of it. So, but Daryl, anything from you? Anything from
No,
you
it's just
from your side?
no, just
How's things
welcome to
been? All
everyone
right?
who's tuning in. Now everything's alright my side. It's a bit chilly today,
Oof,
a
silly.
bit of a breeze. Yeah. So, but it's alright. I've been good. Trying to keep busy, work and training, and all that stuff. But
Awesome.
so far it's alright. Excited to have a chat with Forbes and just let the
Obviously,
viewers get a bit of a insight on Forbes.
obviously, yeah. So you will obviously know a lot more about Tommaso because you spent quite a bit of time with him. But I think it's a fantastic platform to be able to share, get a bit of insight on, on what his thoughts are about playing rugby because everyone's got their own experience, everyone's got their own views and values as well. Like, what does he do you know, to uh, to be successful in terms of being a rugby player? I think he's just joining us now. There's the big man himself.
Hi Ryan, hi Daryl.
Well, Tommaso, how are you doing, brother? You okay?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
Yeah, welcome,
Forbes.
welcome, welcome.
Thanks.
Exciting stuff, man. Exciting stuff. First of all, obviously, we just like to make an official announcement that the special guest is in the house, Thomasau Forbes. Uh, we've just been making a quick introduction, obviously introducing ourselves. I'll do it again. My name is Ryan. For those of you that don't know, and I'm sitting all the way over here on the Isle of Man, close to the UK, and we've got my brother Darryl, and we've got a special guest for today, Thomasau Forbes. Tommaso, how's things been?
No, it's good. It's good. Can't complain. Like under the circumstances, I mean, I'm healthy, so that's about it. But it's
That's good news. That's
you
good
know.
news. Yeah. If I may ask, what would you like to be called, Tommaso or Marshall, the nickname? For everyone out there listening, what's your what would you like to be called, or what do
Okay,
you prefer?
well, on my birth certificate it says Tommaso, but yeah, growing up, like my mom, dad, they just shorten it and call me Maso. So yeah,
Muscle.
I'll probably say Maso. Yeah, I'll go with Maso.
Muscle sounds so strong, like it's a strong name to muscle. You know what I mean? So I can see obviously the way you are, the way you built physically, the character you've got, it's a strong personality. So it suits, it suits you, whether it's Tommaso or Muscle.
Yeah,
Um,
and then
but
again,
it's all good. Yeah, yeah.
a lot of people can't pronounce my name, or like each one has a different pronunciation. So
Right, right.
to cut that out, I'll
Is
just
that
say
is
Maso.
Muscle low? Okay. Is that only in Namibia that people are struggling, or is it been wherever you've been outside of Namibia?
I think it's in general because when we travel, people like it's not an doesn't sound like a Namibian name. I don't know if my name should sound African or something, but yeah, it's the name my parents gave me. So
Oh, it's cool, man. It's cool. But other than that, we would like to also just take a second to say thank you to everyone out there who's been subscribing, who's been watching the videos, who's been asking questions, who's been commenting. It's just been brilliant. What a fantastic experience it's been, so far. And that's why we thought we would like to open up the door to get one of the Namibian players in, and we thought if we could maybe speak to Tommaso if he's got time, and just ask a few questions, so that I'm sure people out there, especially in Namibia, they would like to maybe sometimes they just know people as, oh, he's the rugby player, like, oh, that's Tommaso, or that's Ryan, or that's Darryl.
yeah,
The thing is, it's good to share a bit of insight, and we would like to say thank you so much as well for giving us your time. To take time out. I know under the circumstances, like you things have not obviously always been easy. But first of all, I would like to ask if it's all right. So how old were you when you started playing? Taking a rugby ball and thinking, you know what, I really like this. How old were you?
um, how old I was, it was like okay, I'd say 6 years old, but I couldn't actually think by that time. Okay, I actually liked rugby this much, so I'd say I actually started loving it when I actually started playing. That was round about at 17 years old. So, like, I had a debut at 6 years old, like Choker Rugby. It's like the age group for
Mm,
six and unders. And
mm,
yeah, after that, I didn't play like for years. I went into swimming, and somehow I think I probably went into that because my brother swam. So I wanted to do what he did, and I started swimming, which is it's an individual sport, but yeah, I ended up liking it. Represented Namibia as well, and then suddenly at 17 years old, I just decided, okay, I want to try something different now. And coming
mm.
from a house where my dad played rugby and growing up watching it, I just immediately took to it and went with it.
That's fantastic.
Oh, that.
Do you know? Do you feel? Oh, sorry, Daryl. Sorry, you were saying.
Oh
So
no,
go
no.
on.
I just wanted to say like, hey, welcome to the show again, Marcel.
Mm,
I've known you for like a couple of years now, and obviously seeing you develop as a player, not only as a player, but as a, just as a good mate, a good person, and But I wanted to ask you actually, actually to go on your point about you when you actually started playing, but your official, let's say your official game would have been at 17 only. So in that time, who would you say was your mentors or people that you look up to?
Yeah, my mentors, like every kid will probably say, is your dad. And rightfully, growing up, you set a good example. So, how it actually started was I started towards the end of grade 10 with playing rugby. So, I actually just had one game that year. And so, I wouldn't like call it starting to play rugby. So, I started like, I thought, okay, the next year I'm going to fully commit to it. And then I juggled between swimming and playing rugby as well. So my parents actually said I had to pick one, but I didn't want to pick one. So I kept on swimming and playing rugby, but like to the end, I moved more towards rugby because it's a team sport and just the vibe and the brotherhood that's built. It's just something different towards doing sports individually. But then again, doing sports individually, it gives you a sense of self-discipline as well because you're only dependent on yourself. Whereas playing rugby, it's a team sport and you can rely on your mates as well. So I don't know if I detoured from your question, but yeah, that.
Yeah, no.
So I'll say my dad because when I started at 17, I actually tried out. We have like the Craven Week and the Academy Week, and I remember my first year not making the. I tried out for Craven Week, didn't make that, and I got shortlisted for the Academy Week. So my dad said it was good for the first year playing, but then I think both of us wasn't satisfied because I just don't go there to compete. I wanna. I can't say I want to be a winner, but I want to leave my mark basically. So after being left out of the team, he said, "Okay, if you want to make it next year, we'll have to start working harder." And that's where I'd say my role model came in because he took me to the dunes. We ran up the dunes, had individual sessions with him, and it was tough. But then I think that's also some part of my story which molded me into the person that I am now.
That's that's really important. Like to sum it up, you talk about your dad as being your role model because obviously with the advice and the guidance and the protection, that
Yeah,
he was there to be able to help mold you and shape you. And sometimes it's so important to have role models, whether it's your dad or coach or it's important always to have that extra voice that can be truthful. And that's why I think that's well said. So all credit to your dad obviously for making sure that you work harder, but also that your goals are reachable. But that comes to my next question. Now that you've been working hard, you're starting to enjoy the game, the brotherhood, like you said, and you think, you know what, I want to take it to the next level. So, if I may ask, what was your first? Can you remember your first Namibian training session? If I may ask,
sadly
what was
enough,
that like?
uh, like I said, sadly enough, I don't have like a clear picture of it. The first day getting into the Namibia setup, there's no clear picture of it. So it's something that I would have loved, but then I remember my first test but the build up to the test, I can't remember it, or there's like little memory left of it. But then I remember the test at least, and yeah, I would have liked to remember more of my first training and the entire build up to the match. But then, yeah, I guess I don't know.
Is it has it gone to? Is it sometimes because you're so busy soaking up everything? You don't want to make mistakes. You just you just so it's kind of like stressful, but also enjoyable at the same time. And that's why
Yeah,
I asked that question because you want to impress. You want to obviously be one of the brothers, but then you forget about actually being in the moment and enjoy it more. And that's why a lot of players, right? This is funny. A lot of players sometimes find it hard to actually remember the very first training session of the representative teams. You get the same answer more or less. But is there anything
yeah,
from you, Daryl, that from your
Yeah,
side?
it's funny actually because Tommaso's mentioning now that we made our debut on the same at the same game, same time. 2010 was it? 2010 January, I think.
Yeah,
think
It was
February
in
of
Russia.
2010
Am I right?
yeah, 2010, yeah.
in Windhoek
And
against
it was
Russia.
in Windhoek. Yeah, in Windhoek it was raining. It's like a hectic rainy game.
Mm.
But it's funny you actually say that because, leading up to the test, I can't recall, training or press conferences or anything of it. So I can only remember the game, a bit of it, and obviously afterwards, and just feeling the feeling of accomplishment. But obviously now the hard work has to start. Obviously keeping the jersey and keeping up what you have to do. So Marcel, we're talking about the game now and everything, and preparation is always key. And knowing you as a professional, you are always. What would you say? Just a quick question for the youngsters out there and stuff. What's your meal look like normally for you? Because I know like coaches, we our conditioning coaches and everyone, they normally have a set meal plan or type of plan for us, but obviously individuals change. And what would you say is your go-to meal for a big match?
Yeah, I think like being in the setup that we were, it was quite easy because having a conditioning coach, like you said, will normally have like a fixed meal plan or like certain options. So there's nothing specific, but if I like prep at home, I would probably say you try and get in the best. So it's like having a good breakfast, and that's normally probably cereal, or not cereal, but like oats, a banana, and depending on what time the game is as well. So if it's the morning, you don't want to like go to the match on a full stomach. But if it's in the afternoon, I'll have a good breakfast. At home, I'll just say probably oats with a banana because I'm not much into cooking, and yeah, it's not like I go out of my way to go make eggs or eggs and toast or something. So I'll go for the easier option, which will probably be oats.
So
That's
just
good.
to add to that, if you are with a team, somewhere and you guys in a hotel, and I take it you don't like to wait around for games too as well. Like if the game's too late in the evening, if you gotta wait the whole day, it might be a tough one because sometimes you gotta get it right, don't you? Because if you
Yeah,
eat too early, or what depends what you eat, you don't want to be too heavy. Do you feel like if you eat certain foods that it brings on the nerves even more, or how do you cope with it, if I may ask?
yeah, like you have to get it, or like you said, you have to plan it right. And
Mm.
sometimes it actually makes me a bit nervous working out the time before the game, seeing, okay, if I have a meal now, will it be digested by the time that I get to the game or like pre-match or and like normally with pre-match you get the pasta and chicken, but I'm not big on the pasta because sometimes I feel too bloated and it feels like there's
Right.
not enough time to like feel. I won't say go to the match on an empty stomach, but like if it's chicken fillet or stuff like that, I'll have that.
Yeah.
And the recommended the banana, so like the slow release foods
Mm.
that will keep you full basically. But
Mm.
yeah, that's about it. And being on tour, you get tempted with all the options that you have as well. So
Yeah, of course, of course. Oh, that's well said.
Yeah.
That's well said. That leads me to the next thing that I was wondering. What I would like to ask. So away from the game, let's say you've had a game or the weekend, or even you've got a free weekend. What would your perfect weekend be, if I may ask? What's a perfect weekend for Thomasau Forbes, where you can kick back and think, do you know what? This was absolutely one of the best weekends. I could do that every weekend.
is that like on a off weekend or like with a
Just
game
in just
included
in
or
general, just in general, with the game, without the game, what's your perfect weekend? What would a
okay?
perfect weekend
So
look like?
yeah, like after a week's work, I'd say a Friday, I'd just like to get home and
Mm.
probably train after work and then get home, have a meal, and basically just have an easy night in, whether it's watching Netflix or trying to read a book. I'm not that consistent in reading books, but I try to.
Right.
And yeah, maybe like put on a fire just like to set the mood and just relax my mind, like clean it up. And then Saturday, usually tend to sleep in late a bit, but sleeping in late is maybe like at 8 o'clock, and try and get to the gym early so that I get that out of the way. And yeah, Saturday I say probably go to Darryl or chill with a few friends. Like, just you need to spend time with family and friends as well. I think it
True.
puts a healthy balance to your mental state, because balancing work and training and playing matches, it can get tough at times. But yeah, like I said, on Saturdays I tend to normally interact with other people, and then on Sunday I try and just lay in, think about the week ahead, and try and plan it out so that I get it right on Monday. So depending on how I rest, I'll decide whether I wake up early Monday morning and then take on the week so that I feel well rested, I'd say.
Awesome. The thing is, a lot. Sorry, oh, sorry, Daryl. I was just gonna add, or to say to that. Sometimes, you don't always have to do a lot to have a really good weekend. The simple things. What I find is just to kick back and just relax. Like that's because everything is so fast and pressure. It's all about results. But if you like from what it sounds like, you just like lions, like everyone else. Do you know what I mean? But and
Yeah,
just spend time with friends and family, like you said, it's so important, especially with what's been going on. When if people can connect, and I can definitely relate to that.
and
So
just
you were
to add
saying?
to that as well, um, yeah, like I tend to try and do something different as well on weekends, because Monday to Friday is like a full-on routine. There's there's set times for certain stuff. So
Right.
whether it's just like doing something that I won't say I'm uncomfortable with, but something like a bit out of your comfort zone, and
Right.
just something that you don't normally get to, just make time for something different. Because I think as rugby players, we tend to be so much in a routine, because Monday to Friday you train. If it's like in season, Saturday you play, Sunday's recovery, Monday you're back to a full on week or scheduled week for you. So I think it's important to break away as well. And I won't say clear your mind, but doing something different challenges you in a different way.
Yeah, that's good. I like that definitely.
Yeah.
Um, I can definitely relate to that because if once you do the same thing over and over and over, you just hit a wall. But that's a very good point. Daryl, is there anything from you? Sorry that interrupted before. You were saying?
No, no, no. I just wanted to add on that. I agree with both of you. I mean, obviously playing. I've been playing with Marcus for a couple of years now. And obviously played a
Hmm.
couple of years with you as well, right? And we know, spending time with family and the better technology got, the quicker everything is and everything's supposed to be. And but it's funny how the old school way is probably the best way, just to switch off. Just make a fire, read. Spend time with family. The simple things. That's it really does help with players with the mental health and always longevity as well for players to be. I mean, you can imagine a player that 35, 36 years old, and all he's known is his professional life in and out. So for him to be able to be healthy in that way, he needs to switch off. But on that, Marcel, I just wanted to ask you as well. Do you ever like spend time with like teammates, or do you think it's important to spend time with teammates?
Yeah, I think some of, or like my previous answer also relates to this one as well. And I think spending time with teammates as well, I think it's really important, because you, you get to learn each other like off the field, because obviously on the field it's rugby related a lot. So, and I won't say it's forced, but you're there with each other or with each other, so it means that you need to spend time with each other. But like off the field weekends, I mean, you get to see a different side of the person, and just interacting, knowing how it goes with his family, or his
Yeah.
current situation at home or stuff like that. Just getting to know the person in depth, basically. And I think that also like sets a perfect opportunity to create a better bond, and that can also like relay onto the field because you're getting to trust each other. So I think spending time with teammates off the field very important, and I do quite a lot actually. So yeah, I think it's important to make time for that. And I know like
That's uh-huh.
Daryl
Go
can
on, go
relate
on.
as well because we
Uh-huh.
see each other quite a lot, and
Yeah.
like just due to the current situation as again the COVID, the guys are on lockdown. But I think if they are here, normally we'd get together on a weekend and have a braai or barbecue, as you guys say that side. But we'll, I think
Yeah.
we make time for each other.
You guys like to, I believe you guys like to spend time running a lot with the dogs. How does, if I just to add to your answer, how does that go? What how did that come about? Or what do you get out of it, if I may ask? Just
Um,
in
uh,
general.
Getting a dog, I think, yeah, I just always wanted to get a dog, and with Daryl also having a dog now, I mean, it's perfect. So both of us have huskies, and I mean the same breed, so they
Mm,
should get along well if we interact. So running with them, they normally stay in a pack as well. So getting them, I won't say closer to home, but or like getting them to feel that they're in a pack as well, with the two of them running and stuff like that. So it gives them a sense of they in
connection.
their,
Mm,
yeah,
mm.
and they in their normal habitat or environment basically. So
Ah.
and it keeps you fit because they keep on running, they don't stop.
I can imagine that. No, that's pretty cool. Then that leads me to the next thing. What was on my mind was I was wondering, like 2019. Just to come back to rugby, obviously, you've played in the 2019 Rugby World Cup, which was in Japan. Uh, if we can reflect back where we're now, August, couple of months down the line after the whole experience, could you, if you don't mind, share with us, one of your most memorable moments with while the tournament was on, good or bad as well. Also, how did you manage to deal with, say, for instance, nerves before big match? Just for anyone out there, especially youngsters listening. Also, in Namibia, they might be thinking they want to play for Namibia one day. And they might find themselves in those same situations. Hopefully, they can remember and reflect. They've got to find what works for them at the end of the day. But if you don't mind, what was the whole experience being selected for you?
Yeah, I think, yeah, it's a big question though, but like putting it into words, if if I think back, it like just the accomplishment, it just makes me
Mhm.
happy thinking that, knowing that I worked so long for it and eventually it happened. So, and then going to Japan, it was just unbelievable. Like the entire build up, having my mom there at the capping ceremony, for my family to be part of the entire process. And those are the people that backed you from day one. So I'm just glad that they could be part of it as well. And then Japan, the hospitality, it was amazing. It was probably one of the best places I've been to. And I think Daryl can back me up on that because the people there are just, they make you, or they try and make you feel welcome at all times. So Japan as a place itself, I'd probably give a 10 out of 10. Like
Wow.
people, the places itself. And like I said, it's an incredible experience, or it was an incredible experience. I'd say the best moments there, it was probably playing against New Zealand, because growing up, it's the team that my dad's support and getting to play against them. It's unbelievable. Like, I still find it hard or difficult to put in words because sometimes it doesn't feel like it was actually real. But then facing the haka, it's just something in my mind that I've always wanted to face. I wasn't sure whether I would get the opportunity to, and yeah, luckily enough, I got the opportunity. And yeah, I can't remember all the questions you asked, so I'm just trying to think
Yeah,
what
no,
else you mentioned.
no, it's just I can hear. I'm sure everyone else out there can hear. When you talk about it, that how proud you are of the achievement. Obviously, playing for your country is a massive opportunity, and to play on the world stage, especially against the number one team in the world, like that must have been a huge experience. And the fact that you guys did really, really well, especially first half, by staying in the game, it was so impressive, very, very impressive. I mean, I never got to the opportunity to play against the All Blacks, and I was going to ask you, what was that like for you? But Darryl, sorry, you wanted to add something. Tommaso, if you don't mind, do you mind just sitting a little bit forward because of the light? Mm-hmm. Say again, Darryl.
No, I just
Okay.
wanted to actually, just say that, for people hearing Tommaso speak about, how awesome that feeling was for him playing against New Zealand or going to the World Cup. The thing is, what no one actually tells you normally when you see people achieving big things is what I'll probably say it now because I know Marcel is a humble guy and obviously he wouldn't talk about himself.
Yeah.
So Marcel was one of those guys like myself and like you, and I know Sergio has been going through like his road as well.
Yeah.
Marcel didn't make the Kernvik side the first time around when he went for trials. He had to go work hard. He had to go again, made the team. Same with his under 19 team. Though he was playing outside of South Africa on a big standard, he came back, wasn't selected, had to go back, work hard, got selected. The 2015 World Cup squad, when Marcel was in the squad as well, he trained, gave it his best, and he didn't make the squad. He was, on the short list, didn't make the squad. We went to the World Cup, we came back. From that squad, from the 2015 squad, Tommaso was the only guy left, right? That still came to training, still did the whole thing for another 4 years, and then eventually made it. So it took him basically 8 years. So that's what people don't know. And
Gee whiz. Well, it seems like we've just lost Darryl. Wow, that's that's deep. That is wow, Darryl. Thanks for sharing that. That's why we do this. That's exactly. Sorry to interrupt you there, Darryl. I just wanted to say that's exactly why we're doing this, so that people can actually understand what people, especially players in Namibia, had to go through. Especially like Tommaso. But thanks for sharing that. You were saying, so it was 8 years. So you got left out 2015.
Yeah, he got left out.
And that's
just to add on that, Marcel, before you go on, it's funny because people tend to just give up easily, but seeing Marcel starting against the Springboks and the All Blacks, and before that, I think the game you started for Namibia before that was, I can't even remember. I think it was 3 years, 4 years ago. So yeah, so that's how persistent and Tommaso was or is, as a rugby player.
No, that's honestly, I take my head off to the commitment and for never, not giving up on the fact that anyone. I'm just thinking, man, who trains for 8 years? She kept saying, and then think, I'll give it another shot, and see if I could, come out on top of it, which thankfully you did. And like I always say, everyone's got a story to tell. And and that's why I'm just so grateful that thankful that you come on this platform and share your story. The other thing what I was going to ask you was, your career highlights. For instance, to sum it up, what would I know you might have a few, like special moments. What would your career highlight be?
I don't want to say just making it to the World Cup, but I'd say playing
Yeah.
against the All Blacks, obviously, and not just the All
Mhm.
Blacks, but I can mention South Africa as well, because that time the number one team, New Zealand, obviously, but
Mm, mm,
getting to say that you played against the current world champions, it's
mm,
not
mm,
something that anyone gets to say. So
mm, mm.
yeah, I'd say New Zealand probably mostly because I would have liked 2015 getting to play against Richie McCaw. That would have been awesome because I
Yeah,
actually look up to him because, like, from a
yeah.
professional point of view, must have been the best flanker ever. So
Mm, mm,
yeah, and then I would say 2015 being cut. That
mm.
you asked me earlier about being the first Namibian training. That I couldn't remember, but
True.
being cut from a World Cup team, that
Yeah.
that stays in your mind quite. So
True. Yeah, that's the.
Yeah.
I can imagine
so
that.
yeah, I think
Wow.
that was motivation as well to go on further. And I think if the dream's big enough, you'll find a way to continue.
Mm,
So I think that
mm.
was I really wanted to go to the World Cup. That's something I told myself at 17 years old when I started playing, and there would have been no point in giving up in 2015, knowing that then I might as well gave up or given it up earlier.
So to
So
take a
yeah,
lesson from that, a life lesson. How many times we as people we come this close and then we give up, whatever the situation, whatever the circumstance. But this is just something that I'm once again learning from, and I'm sure everyone else out there can maybe take something from it. Wherever you find yourself right now, it doesn't have to be like this because you've got to change the way you think. And I think, is it safe for me to say you were seeing yourself playing in the World Cup? You were
yeah,
visualizing it.
definitely.
And that's why you kept on going because you saw it first and then you applied
Uh,
the actions. Yeah, Daryl?
Nah,
uh,
Sorry, Daryl.
Ryan,
Yeah.
like just before Tommaso answers that one, um,
Uh,
you were talking about visualizing and seeing yourself playing there.
mm,
Tommaso, he's got a thing that he's got a couple of tattoos, right? So
right,
he'll
right,
probably he must explain to us or to the viewers. So every tattoo is because of a failure and how he's overcome that, right?
right.
But he made a tattoo a couple of months before the World Cup, and we were chatting about it, and he was like, "No, he wants to do this thing, but he's visualizing and stuff, and he doesn't know because the tattoo is about a samurai and everything. It goes over to Japan, but
Right,
normally he
right.
does when he does the tattoo, he does it after achieving, maybe getting through the injury or the circumstance type of thing. But this one he made before even being selected
Even before, so
for the
it
squad.
was a statement. If I can
Yes,
say that it
it
was
was
actually
basically him.
confirmed.
It, yes,
Right,
yes,
right,
it was basically him saying,
right,
"I'm gonna
was
right.
do this. So when I make it up, I'm ready."
Right, right,
Yeah,
right. Ooh, this.
so
Oh,
you can maybe
what was that
elaborate.
like?
Yeah, you can maybe.
Explain.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the like you said, the visualizing part I think it's very important. And just to get back from, like, in life you'll have disappointments. So giving up, it sounds a bit cliche, but it's not an option. So, like, after 2015, obviously I wasn't the same person. Mental space after that, it was difficult being on a field because if you're a rugby player, everything reminds you of the watching the World Cup. It's everything reminds you about it. So getting back into it, I needed to get my head right. So visualizing as well, it's an important part, I think. But then getting back to the tattoos, yeah, I've got a few, and I had like an injury like on my ligaments, my ankle ligaments, and I just came back from a groin hernia. That was like in the beginning of the year. So had the operation, came back. I think I trained for a week, and then there was like a freak accident at the training ground. So I tore all my ligaments, and they call it the peroneal tendon. So it kept on slipping out along the side. So I had to get that repaired. And I think it took about 3 to 4 months to like properly heal up. And so I thought, okay, the year's done with rugby. So I might as well get my mind right and look forward to the next year. And I started training the following year. I think that was in 2016. I didn't play. 2017, I started playing again. But before the season started, I thought, okay, listen, this played a big part in my life. So I might as well get a tattoo. But I wanted something to remind me constantly.
Right.
So, and like the whole time I wanted to get a tattoo, but I didn't have, or I couldn't get the right design. So, and eventually, like in a week's time, I just thought, okay, this is what I want. And sorry, eventually it's like at the back of my calf. So it's just next to the operation mark, or so it's trees with a pathway through it. And then it's like a pocket watch, but with a clock and a compass. So
Right.
the trees represent the dark times in your life, and basically you walk through the pathway of life, and there'll be dark times that you go through. So with the compass, it's just about direction, that you'll find direction in your life. And sometimes it's not at the time that you want it, but with the clock, I made the timers be on a certain like numbers, which is 46 and 10, which is it's a Bible verse, Psalm 46 verse 10, which says, "Be still and know that I am God." And then I've got the sun rays in the background, basically. So
Right.
that just tells me that basically at the end of the tunnel there's light, and if you're persistent in what you do, eventually you'll come to a place where everything's just a bit brighter, and you're in a happy place again. And with all that thinking, how it played out, I got to the World Cup, and it's just part of my story now.
So so
So all I
so
can do is tell it.
so from what I'm hearing, like obviously you've put something physically obviously on your body as a reminder as well to where what you've been through, and as a motivation as well, so that every time you see it, if you get setbacks,
Yeah,
you know how to, you've been through a lot, and you still ended up not giving up. Because that was also what I was going to ask you. You ended up getting injured in one of the matches in the World Cup, and I was going to ask you, what was that like? Because when you get injured, there's obviously you get injured. The rugby is a violent game. I always say it's controlled violence. It's one of those things you can't guarantee you're not going to get injured, but because you put your body on the line, and like I said, you guys were so in the game. I just wanted to know what was going through your mind when you felt, something is not right. And obviously, I can take, you probably didn't want to go off. You were having
yeah,
fun, smashing people, the old legs. You know what I mean? Like what was it like? If you don't mind me asking.
yeah.
I know you've
So
shared a bit, but if you don't mind, this, because a lot of people might wonder, to ask you that type of question. So I'm asking you that question now.
yeah, I think the injury, I won't say it wasn't that bad, because
Hmm.
where it happened and how it happened. I
Hmm.
mean, I don't want to say it's perfect conditions for injury, but if you want to get an injury, it's fine against the best team in the world, I think. And knowing that you're putting your body on the line,
Right.
so
Right.
yeah. Well, that's
It's
basically
go big or go home.
or maybe
Sorry.
that was just how I was trying to like make myself feel better about the injury. But
Right.
yeah, during the game it happened, and yeah, the first time it happened, I think it actually like the injury happened in I can't remember the time, but I made a tackle and I felt something wasn't right, but then it just felt like a cramp in my bicep. So I thought to myself, okay, if I'm going, how am I gonna explain to my dad if I go home and he's gonna ask me why did I go off the field, and I'm gonna
You
tell him I
thinking
got a
that
cramp in my arm.
you thinking
So
that while you play. How am I gonna explain to my dad afterwards? That's crazy, man.
so
That's
I thought
funny,
to
man.
myself, if this is gonna go, I might as well give it a proper go, and it has to
Uh-huh.
get torn off properly. So we iced it a bit and everything, and I played on for a while, but then I felt I was struggling. But then in the heat of the moment as well, you won't hold back because you don't want to be the guy that slips a tackle or anything. And as I made another tackle and I just felt something pop, and that's the point where
Gee.
or where I decided that okay, I'm basically worth nothing
Fair
now,
play.
so I might as well go off the
Mm.
field.
Fair play, fair play. Do you know what I mean? Like that's thanks for sharing. I know we having a laugh, but it's a serious situation. Obviously, it's your body. Do you know what I mean? But it also shows the mindset, and the character. You're a big character, and that's why I'm so. Once again, I keep coming back to it. Once again, I want to say, thank you for sharing that. Because
Yeah,
people don't always know. They just see, oh, there's the boys they playing. They don't know what's going on, and it's good to pick your brain on it. Daryl, is there anything that
and
you would like to touch on? Sorry, Tommaso.
sorry,
You
yeah, just
say?
before we move
Mm-hmm.
on, like it's
Mm-hmm.
the biggest stage that you're gonna play on, like
True.
ever in your life. So why do you want to go off? And at that
Mm-hmm.
time, you just want to play. I don't like a law at that time. You don't know if you're going to play the next game or not. You just need to perform for those 80 minutes or the time that you're playing, and you want to go off that field knowing that you gave everything without any doubts and thinking, okay, if I left that tackle, maybe I would have, or I could have played for the entire 80 minutes. But if you left the, or if you left the tackle, you could have been subbed basically because you don't want to miss a tackle. And but it comes down to like giving everything that you have for the time that you're there, and whether it's getting an injury or not, that's
Mm-hmm.
after the game's done.
It's done. Yeah. No, that's because I'm just thinking now as well with the fact that you had to deal with not making the 2015 squad, World Cup squad. You could have ended up giving up, but you decided I'm going to keep going because it was the same coaches as well. And for you to be able to not give up and keep on being consistent through injuries, through setbacks, you've definitely then proved yourself to the same coaching staff. This time I'm going to do everything that you can't leave me out because I've even made a tattoo that says that I'm already in Japan. So that's deep.
Yeah,
That's deep, honestly. That's deep to persuade the same coaches, man.
that
I'm
was
giving you
taking
two
a
thumbs
chance
up for
with a
that.
tattoo.
That's awesome. But anyway, Daryl, sorry, what were you gonna say before? What were you gonna touch on? Can you hear me? Can you hear Daryl? Can you hear Daryl? I think Daryl
I
can't.
don't think.
Daryl's
I think
is
his
mute.
mic's
He's
off.
yeah, his mic's off on mute. But yeah, I was gonna ask before. We'll probably be wrapping up soon, but before we do, you know, what's next for Thomasau Forbes in terms of playing, in terms of the game itself? What are you looking to? How long are you looking to carry on playing, or are you looking to take a step back, and stuff like that? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah. So after the injury, I think it was like, or I have to be off for about 6 months. So that's done now, and there's no rugby now, so I'm basically
Mm,
taking off
mm,
the year and
mm,
getting refreshed. And yeah, the goal was to go play World Cup, and then I would say the next goal was always to go play outside of Namibia. But then
mm,
knowing that I'm getting a bit older as well, it's also difficult.
mm,
So I need to be realistic as well. So I'll keep on playing, and if any opportunity arises,
mm.
I won't hesitate to take it. But I know my clock's ticking as well. So
Right.
that's basically it. But still hopeful for anything. And yeah.
That's pretty cool, eh? Have you ever thought also, once you stop playing rugby, to look at maybe doing some type of coaching, or have you ever thought about, yeah, when I stop playing, that's me done, or I would like to actually get my hands stuck in and do a bit of coaching, like sometimes while I was playing, I always had those thoughts, knowing that, what would it be like on the other side once I take my playing hat off and put my coaching hat on, and then suddenly you start finding
Yeah, I think
yourself
it's
doing
important to
stuff like
give
it.
back as well.
Uh-huh.
And
So, is there any
with the
plans in the
experience
future?
that,
Hmm.
well, no clear cut out plans yet, but I think once
Right.
I'm done playing, that would actually hit home. For now, I'm just trying to get as much experience as I can, and
Hmm.
whether it's locally or overseas, but just through
Hmm.
playing, build my knowledge of the game, and eventually, once I stop, try and give back to people or kids, because I mean,
Yeah.
something that I went through could help someone else. So just sharing it will probably mean the world to someone else without even you knowing it.
Pretty cool there. And also, I would like to mention for everyone out there, I see we've got a few people online watching. Just want to say thank you so much for that. Tommaso and Darryl also made a clip that's going to be released later on, a breakdown clip, because they used to specialize at the breakdown, making tackles, slowing down the ball, stealing the ball from the opposition, stuff like that. So he's going to share a few tips. Please share that video, like it, subscribe it, comment on it. If there's any questions as well for Darryl or Tommaso about it, feel free to fire away. Daryl, is there anything from your side before we start wrapping up?
No, I just want to apologize. I had a few problems here with the Wi-Fi. But no,
That's
thank you,
cool.
Marcel. Once again, it's been a good show. Thank you for everyone that listened and subscribed, like Ryan said. And I think you are the first person we actually had on here.
Yes.
Besides the two brothers
Uh,
here, but we see you as family. And
Thanks.
we know you're hard working. For everyone out there, all the youngsters, all the loose forwards out there, have a look at a clip. The master's going to explain a couple of things there that will be interesting for you to work on. And thanks again, Master, for your time.
No,
Yeah.
it's only a
Also,
pleasure.
that's well said, Daryl. Thanks for that. Tommaso, before we finally come to a conclusion, is there anything in particular that you would like to leave, especially for youngsters? Like whatever it is, just give it out. Let's hear what's your thoughts on, especially when COVID-19, if this goes over and rugby goes back to normal, and people, especially youngsters, they playing school rugby or even club, or they've got ambition to represent the country. Is there anything you would like to leave for them?
Well, Ryan, something that I tell myself is just not giving up and being consistent in what you do, continuously working hard, and eventually in your mind it might not look like it's working out, but I think eventually you will reap the rewards, or the rewards. because it's not your timing, but I know at the right time you will get to where you want to be. But obviously, you need to be prepared when that day comes as well. So having a negative mindset won't help, and stopping or like if I say stop training or just being negative in a general aspect. So, and it's easy for me to say this now after I've accomplished what I wanted to. But in 2015, my mindset wasn't the same as 2019 after accomplishing what I have. And it basically just comes down to working hard and being consistent in what you do. Because honestly, I think that's the perfect combination for getting where you want to in life.
Oh, thanks for that. You know, one thing that from my point of view towards you, you know, you're a genuine humble guy, and I'm not just saying that. You know, the times that I was spending time with you, and you're always consistent. And the word you used, consistency, just before, in training, in your lifestyle, that's what you get. So for everyone listening, that's exactly what Tommaso is about. But with that, Tommaso, man, we're so proud of what you've achieved. You know what I mean? You've done the country proud. You've done your family proud. And I'm sure everyone out there that knows you, you've done everyone proud. And keep being that nice guy. You know what I mean? Like, and just keep inspiring. You know, it never stops. It never stops. Um, Hopefully we can utilize this this platform, you know, going forward, and we'll have a lot more, hopefully, access to more players. If anyone, like I said, out there is looking for inspiration, please share this video. I think Tommaso has been absolutely phenomenal. Darryl, with that also, I want to say thank you for your time. Anything else from you, Tommaso?
No, I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity. I'm humbled and honored at the same time being the first guest appearance on the Telehub YouTube channel. So,
Awesome.
and being able to share my experiences and knowledge, I hope that it helps someone out there and that someone can take something from it. And you guys should keep on doing what you do. It's a good platform to raise awareness in whether it's rugby or training, and just keep on doing good.
Fantastic. Last one from you, Darryl, if you can hear us. Sorry, your screen just went blank. Can you hear us? Anything else from you, Darryl, before we go? I can't hear. Okay. With that, can you hear, Darryl? Sorry about that. Okay, with that, we would like to say also to all our people that's online, you know, once again, absolutely thank you for following this. We hope you are safe, and please look after yourselves. Whatever you have to do, you know, do it. Look after your family. Look after your health. Eat healthy. Stay healthy. Rest up if you have to. Life is not always about worrying about things, but just it's all about the process. But hopefully we will see you soon. Thank you for another great rugby chat on Tela Sports. Like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you next time. Thanks, Tommaso. Thanks, Darryl. See you guys.
Thanks.
Awesome. God bless. Cheers.
Cheers.